Hi, I'm Jack and welcome to the Attract Capital webinar series. I'm here with Attract Capital CEO and founder, David Barnett.
Hi everybody.
Today, our webinar title is How Mezzanine Debt Strengthens a Deal. So Dave, before we get into the specifics, can you give our audience an overview on what mezzanine debt is?
Sure. Mezzanine debt is a cash flow based financing. You use it to fund an acquisition or you use it to fund accelerated growth. It's different than a bank loan in that it's sized based on a multiple of adjusted cash flow or EBITDA. It funds into the future growth and it has no personal guarantee and it is a very long-term form of debt.
And I know you hit on it a little bit, but what makes it specifically different than other forms of debt capital?
Good question, Jack. So it's more flexible than bank loans because it's based on future cash flow growth. So you can tailor it to your specific need. If you want to do two things at once, if you want to buy a company and you want to invest in your existing business, you can do that. It's also the longest it has the longest term of a loan available in the market. So where many bank loans will go 5 years, mezzanine debt will go 6 years, it'll go 7 years, and none of the principal is due into the back end, so it's a balloon maturity. And because it's structured on the cash flow, it really is based on growth, and it's a function of how you're shaping the growth and how you're articulating the growth to the lender to get them comfortable. So it unlocks a lot of capital availability for a company, which makes it very different than a bank loan.
Okay, and then to get into the specifics, how does mezzanine debt strengthen your deal?
So there's a lot of ways that it strengthens the deal, but if you boil it down, it gives you more capital than a bank loan. It also allows you to put in less equity investment than you otherwise would with a bank loan, a traditional senior debt financing. As I mentioned earlier, Jack, there's no personal guarantee, which is extremely attractive to an entrepreneur who's already taken a tremendous amount of risk getting his business up to a certain level. He doesn't want to continue to guarantee the debt when the company is of a middle market sized business. And the fact that there's no principal repayment is quite powerful because although you can repay the principal early, you're not under any obligation to do so. What that means is that excess cash flow that you're generating from not paying back the loan, you're reinvested in the business and it turbocharges the growth even more. So specifically, what I think is interesting is that for independent sponsors, you want to make sure that you have enough capital in order to execute the growth plan. And a lot of times you need more financing than you originally estimated. So mezzanine lenders, because they'll give you a multiple of the adjusted EBITDA, can pretty much universally give you more capital than you would under a standard senior bank equity combination debt structure. In addition, if they're playing in the role of a one-stop financing where they're giving you kind of the bank debt that you would get in the mezzanine, they're often more comfortable with the sponsor putting in less equity than the sponsor otherwise would. So whereas a sponsor might put 25 or 35% equity into the deal, if a mezzanine lender is both in the senior position and the subordinated position, they're often comfortable with the independent sponsor putting in 10 to 15%. And finally, the one-stop facility is a great way. Mezzanine lenders are very well known for their one-stop facilities, which are great for acquisition financing, particularly when you get an accordion portion of the facility, which is not funded at closing, but is committed to a closing and allows the company to have an initial round of acquisitions and then to have another round of acquisitions after the initial funding, and it brings big value. So these are all the ways: less equity, more capital, more scalability, more efficiency in the capital structure.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the Attract Capital webinar series.
Thank you.